Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing 11-11 and we're still dividing fractions, but now we are going to be dividing fractions by whole numbers. So in 11-10, we did the opposite. We did whole numbers by fractions. So we're still going to use the KFC strategy, and I'm going to show you some problems. But before we do that, I am going to go over answers to your homework. And in checking your homework on Google Classroom, most of you did pretty well, so I'm really happy about that. If there's something that's unclear still, then shoot me a message so I can help you. Remember that you can Zoom me between 9 and 12, just so that I can give you my undivided attention during those hours, okay? So let's go over reteaching. If you need to pause, go ahead so that you can grab your workbooks or so that you can look up your homework so you can go over answers. Okay, so for reteaching page number 1 is 4, and then you should have 2 circles that are cut in half. For number 2, it's 6, and you should have 2 circles cut in 3s. For number 1 on practice, your answer is 3. Number 2 is 21. Number 3 is 6, and you should have 3 circles cut in half. Number 4 is 32, and you should have 4 circles cut in 8ths. For number 5, you would do 6 times 3, which equals 18. Number 6, you would do 5 times 10, which equals 50. For number 7, you would get 4. And for number 8, what you can say there is that you can use the KFC strategy to multiply your fractions out. Okay, so now let's move on to 11-11. Make sure you have your notebooks to follow along with me and you're solving problems as I go and as the video plays. You can pause at any time if I'm going too fast, and if you have questions after this, please make sure to send me a message. Alrighty, so first I want to kind of do a diagram that helps you visualize what we are talking about when we are dividing fractions by whole numbers, okay? So let's say I have this pan of brownies and I don't have a brown marker. So let's just say the brownies are covered in blue icing, okay? So here is the brownies, okay? And let's say the person who made the brownies took half to their job. So originally this pan was full, but now there's only half of the brownies left. Okay, so we have half of the brownies. 4 people have to share this much. So we would set up our problem like that. And because they want to share them evenly or equally, we're going to divide this amount by the 4 people that we have. Okay, so this would be our problem. 1/2 divided by 4. Again, we're going to use KFC to help us. So we're going to keep the first term, which is half. We're going to flip the 4. So now, notice that the 4 is a whole number. And remember, when we have whole numbers and we want to change them to fractions, we're going to put it over 1. So now our fraction 4/1 is going to flip bottom to top, top to bottom. So it's going to be 1/4 now, okay? Then we're going to change our division sign to multiplication and solve. Here we have 1 times 1 is 1, all over 2 times 4, 8. And there's your answer. Okay, so same steps for KFC. Keep the first term, so this one will stay the same. It's not going to change at all. The second term is going to flip, and because 11-11 is all dividing by whole numbers, all of them are going to be over 1 to start. So that way, when you flip it, you should always have a 1 on top, okay? And then whatever your whole number is. Then you're going to change your division sign to multiplication, and we're going to solve like if we're multiplying fractions. So tops, numerators are multiplying together. 1 times 1 is just 1, and then our denominators, 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, let's do some more. So we're going to use that same half fraction, and we're going to solve by 3, by 5, and by 6. So again, don't forget your KFC. We're going to keep the first term here. So it's going to be half. We're going to put our whole number over 1 and flip it. So it's now going to be 1 over 3 instead of 3 over 1. And we're going to change our division sign to multiplication. Then solve across. 1 times 1 is 1. All over. 2 times 3 is 6. And that's your answer. You only have to simplify at the end. If your fraction that you start with isn't a 1 on top, then maybe you might have to simplify. But in these, because all of them are going to be over 1 or 1 on top, more than likely you're not going to have to simplify for these. Okay, let's solve this next problem. 1 over 2 divided by 5. We're going to keep 1 over 2. We're going to put our original whole number over 1 so that we can flip it and have 1 over 5. Then we're going to change division to multiplication and solve. 1 times 1 is 1. All over. 2 times 5 is 10. And there's our answer. Same thing here, KFC. Keep the first term. Flip the second term. We're going to put it over 1 so that we can flip it. Sorry for my Spotify commercials. We're going to change our division sign to multiplication and then solve. 1 times 1 is 1. All over. 2 times 6 is 12. And there's our answer. Okay, let's do this next problem. 1 over 5 divided by 2. So in this one, again, keep the first term. 1 over 5. 2 is a whole number, so it's going to be over 1. And we're going to flip it to give us 1 over 2. Then change our division to multiplication. 1 times 1. All over. 5 times 2 is 10. And there's our fraction. Okay, how about this problem? 1 over 4 divided by 3. Keep the first term. Put our whole number over 1 and then flip it. And then change our sign. So 1 times 1 is 1. All over. 4 times 3 is 12. And there we go. Okay, here we have 1 over 4 divided by 5. Keep the first term. Put our whole number over 1 and flip it. Then change our division sign. Solve. 1 times 1 is 1. All over. 4 times 5, 20. And there we go. Okay, 1 over 4 divided by 4. We're going to keep the first term. We're going to put our whole number over 1 and flip it. Then we're going to change our division sign to multiplication and solve. 1 times 1 is 1. All over. 4 times 4 is 16. Now, in this next problem, I'm going to show you what it looks like if you don't have a 1 on top. So if your numerator is different, okay, if it's a fraction other than 1 as in your numerator, we're still going to do the same steps. We're still going to solve KFC. It's just going to be a different numerator at the end. Okay, so keep the first term. Our first term is 3 over 5. We're going to keep it. We're going to flip our whole number. So same step, 1 over 2. And then we're going to change our division sign to multiplication. Here, we're going to do the numerators. 3 times 1 is 3. And then the denominators, 5 times 2, 10. Okay, so notice now you don't have a 1 on top because of this fraction. But we don't need to simplify 3 over 10, so we can leave it as is. Alrighty, we'll do this one. 3 over 5 divided by 4. We're going to keep our first term. We're going to put our whole number over 1 so that we can flip it. Change our division sign and solve. 3 times 1 is 3, all over. 5 times 4 is 20. And no need to simplify. That would be our final answer. Okay. In this problem, we are going to do the same steps. So KFC. Keep our first term, 3 over 4. Let's put our whole number over 1 so that we can solve and flip it. Put the 1 on top, 16 goes on the bottom, and then change our sign to multiplication. So here we would do numerators, 3 times 1 is 3, and then denominators, 4 times 16. You need to show your work, you can do that. 4 times 16 is 64. Okay, and we do have a big number on the bottom, but 3 does not go into 64, and there's no other number that goes into both 3 and 64. So here's our final answer. Okay, so you can keep practicing problems on your own. Also on Google Classroom in your assignment, there's a clickers for you to solve. Please make sure you write your name down so that I know who is answering, and that way I can see more or less if you're understanding the lesson. We are not going to be doing any more lessons, so after today's lesson, we're going to review. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a review worksheet that you can work on so that you're practicing these problems. But on Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to do a Zoom meeting with all of you. Wednesday's meeting is mandatory, so all of you, please attend the Zoom meeting. I'm going to post it at 8, and our Zoom is going to start at 9. So please make sure you're all there. I'm going to group you into small groups. That way I can meet with you guys individually and we can work on problems together so that we are understanding for your quiz on Friday. So Thursday will be another review session, and we'll probably do a Kahoot or quizzes together just so that we can get the hang of it, okay? Please make sure you do the Google form clickers. Your homework is 11-11 in your workbook. You can do it on the PDF or take pictures of your workbook and make sure to upload them, okay? Please let me know if you have any questions or if something's unclear, and message me before you start on your homework, okay? See you later.